Welcome to the final matchup in round 1 of Launch Title Madness. You have arrived at episode number 9. In the last episode of Launch Title Madness, we saw Killzone Shadow Fall take the defeat to all the superheroes from the Marvel Universe as Marvel Ultimate Alliance prevailed. We also saw the zombies from Zombie U on the Wii U ravage them cowboys in the Xbox 360 gun, leaving all the MILFs at home saying, "I will wash the dishes while you go have a beer," as they wondered, where have all the cowboys gone, Hee-Hun? In today's episode, we see the Sega Genesis launch title Ghouls and Ghosts up against one of the greatest fighting games of all time, Soul Calibur, on the Sega Dreamcast. We also see Super Mario 64 up against Ryse from Xbox One.
It's me, Mario!
It's time to end round 1 of Launch Title Madness with an absolute bang. Fasten your seatbelts. Let's go for a ride.
Off the grid. Boom shakalaka.
As of right now, we're 9 episodes in. This is it for round 1, and then shit's gonna get really tough.
Oh, I mean, I'm not looking forward to this matchup. This matchup is so intense. So we got Ghouls and Ghosts from the Sega Genesis versus Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. Both iconic games. And then we have Super Mario 64 against Ryse for the Xbox One. I think we take a look at the first round contenders.
In 1999, the legendary arcade fighting game Soul Calibur from 1998 was ported to the Sega Dreamcast. With new features and improved graphics, this game to this very day is considered one of the greatest fighting games of all time. Does Soul Calibur have what it takes to take the crown in Launch Title Madness? Stay tuned.
The Sega Genesis was released in 1989 in North America and launched with 7 different games. One of those games was Ghouls and Ghosts. A side-scrolling arcade port by Capcom, it was the second game in the Ghosts and Goblins series. Playing your way through many undead and demonic creatures and trying to take down Lucifer, can Knight Arthur kill his way through Launch Title Madness? His fate lies in our hands.
What are you thinking?
This is so tough, dude. They're both iconic games.
They are.
They're both huge, and they're well known because they were just huge staples.
I'm not conflicted here.
You're not?
I'm not. I like Ghouls and Ghosts, but even in its own realm of its series, it's not the standout game. I'd much rather play Ghosts and Goblins, Super Ghouls and Ghosts.
True.
Soul Calibur is
so beautiful.
It's on that Street Fighter Turbo level of it is arguably the best fighting game ever made. And I full disclosure, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan.
But you know when you play it that it's good.
It was the reason to get a Sega Dreamcast. It was better than the arcade version of the game. Better graphics. And that was I think, at least to my memory, that was the first time I remember, oh my god, the arcade is in the living room and it actually looks better.
And it looks amazing.
Now, Ghouls and Ghosts is awesome, but as you look at all of the Genesis titles, it's I get it, it's awesome.
It was a launch title.
But it's not even best in its series, and we're talking about a game that's in the discussion for best games ever made.
True. And I think, even though the Dreamcast was technically a failure, Soul Calibur was not. Like, it was one of those, like, everyone knows that Soul Calibur is, like, one of the best games ever made.
Yeah.
And it's, when you go back and play it now, it still looks amazing.
Yeah.
It still plays amazing. I initially thought this was super tough, but after all the points you brought up, I was like, okay, Soul Calibur has to win.
It's crazy to think this, because
and
Ghouls
we're
and
not
Ghosts is so good.
And we're not even fighting game fans.
Yeah.
And this is the second fighting game to move on.
Yeah,
You know?
Anybody even to this day that would play that game would be like, this is incredible. It was an achievement like none other. I just feel like everybody I knew that had a Dreamcast had Soul Calibur. I really feel like was the reason to own a Dreamcast. Possibly still is a reason to own one today. And you can't say that for Ghouls and Ghosts.
Yep.
I think this is just an ass whooping. And I like Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh, yeah, it's a great game. But Soul Calibur.
Moving right along. Next matchup, one of your favorite games ever made.
God damn it. Super Mario 64.
Robert's favorite game.
There's only 2 launch titles for the N64, and so this just made it by default. And then Ryse for the Xbox One. Let's look at these contenders.
It's me, Mario!
Super Mario 64. Not a fan. But in 1996, it launched with the Nintendo 64 and was the first Super Mario game to be in 3D. Jumping your way through paintings, collecting stars, and trying to save the princess, this game received very high praise and is often quoted as one of the greatest video games of all time. With such high praise, can 3D Mario stand on his own in launch title madness, or will Bowser finally defeat him? Let's find out.
The launch title Ryse, Son of Rome is a third-person action-adventure hack-and-slash game published by Microsoft Studios. Originally exclusive to the Xbox One, it was later released by Microsoft for PC. Does this visually stunning game for the Xbox One have what it takes to hack and slash its way through launch title madness? You're gonna have to wait and find out. Alright, as much as you're not going to want to hear this, I think this is another lopsided matchup. Ryse is really cool.
So,
visually it's stunning.
Visually, this game, Ryse is beautiful.
It is.
But that's because it's for a modern, it's for the Xbox One.
Yeah, yeah.
But, when I play it, I feel like it's just regurgitation of Assassin's Creed and God of War. That's what, it reminds me a lot of Assassin's Creed and God of War. It's like a blend of those two, you know what I mean?
It's got a really cool combat system.
But it just feels like I played it. It's very similar to games I played.
And I don't know if you feel this way, like, my first 5 hours, I'm like loving the combat system. Towards the end of the game, it gets really redundant.
So it kind of reminds me of the Batman games.
Yeah, and you know, there is a little bit of that. I love the
Batman games, but
there's a little bit of that in the God of War games. But those games are far more groundbreaking than I feel like Ryse is. Now, I think Ryse is a really cool game. And if you're into that old, you know, Roman type
medieval,
of it's really cool. But we're talking about Super Mario 64, which is a game you shit on a lot. Okay. I kind of shit on a lot. I want
to make this game not move on so badly because I hate it so much. But we're talking about launch titles here. The N64 launched with 2 games, Pilot Wings and Super Mario 64. And for as much as I hate Super Mario 64, I think it is still in the top 10 N64 games. Oh, it's one of the best N64 games, and it was a launch title. And I just learned this fact. This is fascinating. The N64 was delayed 6 months from being put out because of Mario 64. They were like, the game's not ready. They were going to release it for Christmas, and they said, no, Super Mario 64 is not ready. So they delayed the whole console launch because of Super Mario 64.
So Santa was walking around with an empty freaking sack.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that sounded really bad.
Well, that's because Mrs. Claus hasn't pleased him in a while. But as much as I hate Super Mario 64, it's so groundbreaking and revolutionary.
Yeah.
Like, it changed gaming. It changed what you thought of Mario.
Yeah.
It was huge, and I know I was like a super young kid when it came out, but like, it was the big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was the reason
to get a 64.
To get a 64. And I can't think of, now I'm not saying that it's the greatest launch title of all time. No. Time will tell.
But it
I can't,
had huge impact.
That, and I can't think of a console that was so tethered
to one game.
Ever.
It
wasn't a pack-in game.
No, it wasn't. It was literally like they made the N64 for that game. That's what it feels like. Because the other game was Pilot Wings. Like,
I mean, dude,
it's fine.
yeah.
But
I mean, it actually made it into the bracket.
it did.
But because there was only two.
Yeah, there's only 2. But it was so revolutionary. There's so many stars. It's open world Mario. So, like, I feel so weird giving it compliments because I hate it so much. But when you start up Mario 64 and you can move his face,
Yeah.
you can tug on his nose, tug on his ears, like,
Yeah, you can give him a tug.
that's going from Super Mario World to that. Like, you're not even in the game yet. You can move his face. That's insane. They leaps and bounds. Like, they went so far with this game. Everyone's like, why is he so into Mario 64? I hate it.
Yeah, well, it's because when you go back to it, people put it up on this pedestal, and you go back and play it now, and
It is. It's very dated when you play it, but for the time, it was huge.
Yeah, I feel bad here almost for Ryse, because Ryse is a cool fucking game, but it just doesn't
not
stand
even
a chance.
Not even stand a chance.
Not even in the arena.
Mario
It didn't even walk
64
through the door.
Is moving on to round 2 of Launch Title Madness.
And it'll take on Soul Calibur. That'll be an interesting battle.
I want to pick Soul Calibur so bad, but
I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
just because I only hate Mario 64 because I 100%ed it. You know?
Yeah, that's part of the problem. Yeah.
It's a fun game, but if you try 100%ing it, good
It'll
luck.
make you want to jump off a bridge
Yeah.
without a
I still
bungee
like
cord.
just thinking about our memories of 100%ing it, making my blood boil. Like, it's like I got so pissed off playing that
Yeah.
game.
We're drinking a beer today that's kind of taking things way back. It's a readily available beer by Boulevard.
Yeah, this is our original. It's just a straightforward pale ale by
Yeah.
Boulevard. What do you think? We
I
don't.
mean, they've got a pick 'em up truck on there driving that barrel
Oh,
of beer.
with a big old dip.
Yeah, driving that barrel of beer to the local bars. Really drinkable.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we comparing this to? Because blocking out my mind and everything else I have as a reference, this is really good.
This is really good.
Yeah.
And like
Simple.
that's what it is. It's just simple. This is a straightforward beer, and we love our craft beer. We love our complex beers, but like it just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a pale ale that's done right.
Did you like think at all like man, I'd like to drink this while driving in that truck?
You know how good it would taste?
Americana.
Yeah, that's the American dream right there.
Breweries out of Kansas City, readily available. If you maybe haven't dove into IPAs or anything like that,
It's definitely a good introduction.
it would be because it's pretty mild.
It's very mild, but it has a slight hop taste.
Yeah.
It's very mellow, but it's a good introductory because you're like, oh, I drink Miller Lite all the time. This is just a little step above that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty solid.
This would be a good beer on a hot summer day.
Yeah. Guys, round 1 is a wrap. It has been, there's been some really close matchups, some really,
Easy ones.
one-legged man in the ass-kicking contest type of matchups. But as we go into round 2,
Jesus Christ.
which we're going to recap for you right now, things get pretty freaking insane. Round 2 will kick off with Fusion Frenzy against Sonic Adventure.
Jesus.
We then see Halo against Super Mario Brothers. Breath of the Wild then takes on Super Mario World. Star Wars Rogue Leader will face Luigi's Mansion. Tekken Tag from the PS2 battles another PS2 game, SSX. F-Zero will take on Forza 5. We will see Marvel Ultimate Alliance against Zombie U. And Soul Calibur versus Super Mario 64.
Round 2 is like some of the best games ever made.
Yeah,
Going against the best games ever made.
and it's just this whole tournament, as this thing necks down, it's gonna get insane.
There's already matchups where I'm like, that has to go against that?
Yeah.
Like, it's like some of my favorite games.
Yeah.
It's like, these games are so, all the games in round 2 are like so revolutionary.
Yeah.
And they're like,
But somebody's got to go.
somebody has to win.
And we said somebody like they're people, but something. There's something on the wing. Something has to get out of here, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. We gotta freaking dial ourselves in.
I'm getting nervous just thinking about round 2.
Hmm?
But
You're gonna have to wait because we're not filming it for a little while.
we gotta do it.
We're just gonna have to take the plunge. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, subscribing to the channel. Hope you've enjoyed round 1 of Launch Title Madness. You better get your rest and eat your Wheaties, because round 2 is gonna be coming in hot, and it's gonna be crazier and more mad than ever before. Yeah. Welcome to the final matchup. We also saw a bunch of zombies from Zombie U ravage the cowboys that ravage them cowboys from the good old Xbox 360 game Gun. Yeah. We also saw the zombies from the Wii U zombie game. I was gonna say. We also saw the zombies from Zombie U on the Wii U ravage them cowboys in the Xbox 360 Gun, leaving all the MILFs at home singing, "Where have all the cowboys gone?" Singing, "Where have all the cowboys gone?" I gotta get the melody of that song in my head. As they wondered, where have all the cowboys gone?
God.